Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakudash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, and taught us his truth and that root well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push his truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Alright, we're going to just jump into, we're going to go back into these prophecies, man. Alright, because there's a lot of things that's going on around the globe. Alright, you got wars and rumors of wars that's taking place. Alright, you got people out here that's just living in la-la land, man. Alright, don't want to hear this here truth, man. Alright, they're more concerned about the little bullshit they got on in their bugged out life, but forget about those people out there, man. Alright, hey, hearken to the words of the Lord, man. Alright, because we're not in a time of sleep and slumber. Alright, let me start off with that real quick, holding a couple precepts. But nevertheless, we're going to get into this here, the times that we're living in, man. War and rumors of wars, man. Alright. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon thee, as travail a woman with child, and they shall not escape." All right, but the point I wanted to grab was, but of the times, verse 1, "But of the times and the season, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." All right, so hey, man, coming as a thief in the night because of the fact of what? Most people aren't hearkening, they aren't watching. All right, they're not listening to the words of the Lord. They're not even watching the prophecies that's taking place, man. All right, so ultimately, you have these things that's transpiring in the world. All right, the prophecies are speaking loud and clear. But what? Most people are oblivious to these things, man. Most people have their ears stopped, man. They're out here and they're eating and drinking folly spirit, man. All right, but hey, as your world is coming to an end, more people are more concerned and more focused on the so-called mirth of this here land than the actual severity of the troubling times that's coming at hand, man. All right, so let me continue reading on a little bit. Verse 4 says, "But ye brethren are not in darkness, that the day should overtake thee as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We're not of the night nor of the darkness. Let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober." All right, so hey, that's what we're out here to do. We're out here to watch, man. We're out here watching these prophecies that's taking place. We're out here watching these things transpire. All right, we're watching as these things are starting to bubble up in the globe, man. We're watching as the signs that the Lord left us take place, man. We're watching as these prophecies start to speak loud and clear, man. We're watching as these things are starting to fall in place to, to fulfill the will of the Lord, man. All right, but nevertheless, you have these major events that's going on around the globe. All right, you have major actions being taken place. Most people are just out here sleeping and slumbering, man. Most people are just ignoring these things, but they don't understand how catastrophic things are, more or less to say, man. All right, not to say that, especially dealing with this Ukraine situation, that, hey, tomorrow's going to be World War III, nukes are going to be flying. But no, man, these are the things that's leading up to, World War III, man. The scriptures say, we can grab that real quick. This is in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, starting at verse 3. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him, saying, privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?" All right, so hey, what are the signs, all right, of the Lord return? Verse 6 says, "And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, and the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places." So hey, as you hear about these wars and rumors of wars taking place, all right, you have a lot of buildup that's going on, man. A lot of things taking place as far as how do I put it? Troop movements and sides being taken as far as the buildup for World War III, man. All right, and you have Russia having a lot of these red lines being crossed that they're putting forth, man. All right, they're going back and forth and having negotiations, or they were having talks with the West. All right, America and the West, saying, "Hey, look, man, hey, we just gonna ask y'all, look, can y'all, first of all, make sure that Ukraine don't join NATO." America in the West was like, "Nah, they can join. Whoever want to join, they can join, man, except for Russia, right?" Because I remember not so long ago, Russia was like, "Yo, let us join NATO." They're like, "Nah, hell no, y'all can't join." But they all with jokes and everything else to show the hypocrisy of these things. But nevertheless, man, hey, you have you have these things that's going off right now, man. Like I said, they had these talks, and they also asked them, hey, remove your weapons off our borders. America and the West was like, nah, we're not removing them. So now you have Vladimir Putin saying, all right, y'all leaving me with no choice, man. These are the things that I have to wind up doing, all right? Because look, I got to defend myself, man. We're not going to allow you to put your weapons up on our borders and keep with this propaganda piece. You go back to some years back where you had, let the American media tell it. They said that, hey, look, man, they had, I forgot what the name of the coup was, Euromaidan or something like that. All right, but nevertheless, you had America go over there with their coup d'etat, overthrow the president that they had over there, and they called it the Russian puppet. All right, and they overthrew the Russian puppet that they had over there. Then what did America wind up doing, man? Putting in their own puppet over there, man. All right, now you got another one of these little, American puppets that's are ruling over there, man. All right, but nevertheless, going into, let me grab that real quick. Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51:7, it says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, so, hey, man, you have these different nations that are listening to America, listening to their so-called rhetoric. All right, because right now, hey, you've been hearing over the news over the last week or so, or the last past time and things that was going on. Hey, man, you have if anything pop off over in the Ukraine, NATO's gonna defend every inch of NATO's territory. Well, Ukraine's not a part of NATO, man. So when you really read between the lines, if Russia was to invade or Russia was to go over there and start bombing, hey, NATO and America not gonna go send troops on the ground to go and invade and fight with Russia like that, man. But they're using this here smoke screen, man, to bait in the bear, more or less to say, man. All right, what are they doing? They over there giving arms and weapons over there to them, man. All right, putting weapons on their border, man, which is destabilizing their area, man, because all they need to do is put in some of their CIA agents, all right, and stage a coup d'etat, man. Have them just go over there and start shooting at Russian troops. Now the Russian troops go to defend themselves. All right, then all of a sudden you put it on TV. Oh, look, Russia's over here killing off innocent people and so on and so forth, man. All right, the whole reason you had this war that was going on for the last 8 years in that spot is because, again, you had the American counterparts go over there and basically hijack the country, all right, and start waging war with these other Ukrainians, man. But going into the nations are mad because while they've been drinking this Babylonian juice, now they're waking up like, look, it's like a proxy war that's going on, man. The casualties aren't you Americans and you NATO members. The casualties are these Ukrainians, man. Those are the people that's over there dying, man. You didn't war-torn this here country, divided it all up for what? Your spoils and your propaganda piece for your own benefit, man. For you to go over there and put your weapons up on their borders, and so if there was a war to break out between you and Russia, those would be the casualties would be over there, not over here in America, man. All right, but we know ultimately how it's going to play out. But hey, this is their mind state. This is what they have going for themselves at this moment, man. All right, this is what they are doing. All right, but hey, nevertheless, you have these talking heads on the media, the news and everything else like that that's pushing for certain propaganda pieces, man. Oh, look at how Russia's got these people fleeing. Look at how Russia's got these people over here destabilized. Look at how Russia's over here doing all these different things. But hey, why are those people in conflict, man? Was it because Russia was talking shit to the Ukraine, or was it because the West was talking shit to Russia? All right, was it the Ukraine that decided that they wanted to pick up arms and start, putting arms over there? No, it was America that was basically doing those things, man. So now this is the so-called blowback that comes from all these things, man. And again, who's taking the brunt of those things? Is it these Americans? You do have global economic ramifications of these things, but nevertheless, hey, the people that's over there actually getting what they call shelled or bombed or shot at are those Ukrainians over there, man. All right, but nevertheless, these nations are waking up to this here madness that you're spewing in their country, man. All right. Let me read this while I'm right here. This is Matthew 24, verse 6. It says, "And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." All right, so hey, ultimately, the end is not yet. All right, you still have more things to transpire, more things to bubble up, more things to take place as the Lord is ultimately implementing His will, His ultimate will, man. All right, and that's to destroy Babylon, man. And we'll get into that Lord's will a little later, but nevertheless, just like when you seen the MOTB, man, when they first started mandating the mask, it didn't mean like, hey, the MOTB gonna come out tomorrow. That was, 2 years ago. They started ramping up real fast, started slowing down, or what they call an ebb and a flow, man. All right, you pour a little bit, draw back a little bit, pour a little bit, draw back a little bit, man. All right, you see in the wars, in the rumors of wars taking place now, things will die back down and then things will pick back up, man. So we ultimately know that the World War III is going to mainly take place over in the Middle East, man. All right, you're going to have Russia is going to be a part of it, them and their conglomeration of nations. You're also going to have America and their conglomeration of nations right now in World War III. But right now what you're seeing going on is what? Other prophecies being fulfilled to bring this big picture into play, man. All right. Hey, let me read this real quick because, hey, as these things are going forth, man, let me go back to the 2 Thessalonians real quick, or 1 Thessalonians 5. 1 Thessalonians 5 and let's start at the top. Slocky, give me a second. Five and 1. All right, it says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So, hey, man, these things are going to come unexpected, man. These things when you least expect it, because, wow, these people are out here just living their life, not watching, not hearkening, all right? Hey, but these things are going on right around you. Most people are just more worried about their so-called everyday life, man. Watching the Super Bowl, watching their how you call it, the bread and circuses, their soap operas, whatever the hell they got going on, man. Going out to the beaches, the clubs, these restaurants. But lo and behold, around the globe, hey, you got people under attack right now, man. All right, in multiple places, not just in the Ukraine, but multiple places around the globe, man. All right, but ultimately, you have these things that are taking place, all right, in the globe, all right, and then ultimately, these Americans are just sitting here carelessly, man. All right, let's go into that real quick in Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47, and I'm going to go to start at verse 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate. All right, hey, because, this place has been untouched, man. It's so-called prime, prime real estate, When you're talking about a woman, she's not all defiled by all these different men and everything else like that. She's fresh on the market, man. All right, that's how America is, man. Hasn't been worn, torn, hadn't been ran through and everything else like that, man. All right, so this here place is every other place on the globe has had wars and things like that take place on their soil, but here in America like that, man. All right, the only so-called wars that you've had here in America was amongst the people of this here place. No outside force came in and so-called plowed in this here land, more or less to say, not getting too graphic, but nevertheless, hey, this here place is that virgin daughter of Babylon, man. All right, it says, take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. All right, so hey, going to uncovering the thigh, lifting up that skirt, man, showing that wickedness that's up under there, man. All right, you go to these clubs and these bars, you see these women all with the makeup on, got the little outfit on, she looks slim and slender and everything, look good all in the face. Hey, man, go give her a shower or something like that, man. Wash that face and you'll see, man, she's got all these imperfections and these flaws. All right, might even be all disease written and everything else like that. All right, then you take those clothes off, man, and she's got those little what they call them, little, not the spandex pants, but they got some other little shit, man. To hold their little stomachs in and everything else like that, man. All right, you take that off and all of a sudden she got rolls on rolls on rolls. You're like, damn, this ain't where it was advertised, man. Or you meet these, it's like catfishing. You meet these chicks on the internet, they look all good, but then you see them in real life without the filters and things like that, man. You see a chick, she's all slim in the face, she all got these face shots, but then you see her in real life, she's 400 or 500 pounds, man. All right, but nevertheless, this is what's going on here in America, man, is being exposed for their wickedness, man. Being exposed for their deeds, man. All right, this is that golden, or so-called golden city, the city of so-called dreams and things where, the city of the saints, city of all the so-called good things going on. But you realizing, hey, man, like I said with the Ukraine scenario, man. All right, those people that's over there that's so-called evacuating and getting shelled is not getting shelled because of so-called Russia and Ukraine's doing. It's because America and the West went over there and started doing those things, man. Those people are paying the prices because of the things America's wound up doing, man. But you listen to the news and the media, it would make it sound like America is the so-called savior. America's going over there trying to help these people, man. All right, these things wouldn't happen if you wouldn't have took your ass over there, man. All right, just like in the Middle East, man. Oh, Saddam Hussein got weapons of mass destruction. Well, they didn't have terrorists before y'all went over there and took out Saddam Hussein. Then now all of a sudden you got terrorists and people blowing each other up over there, man. Which one is it, man? All right, you know, everywhere they set their foot, man, what comes after death and destruction, man? All right, let me grab that real quick, because nevertheless, you know, this is the things that's going on around the whole globe, man. Everywhere he goes, he uproots everything that he touches, man. Habakkuk 2:5 says, yea, also, because he transgresses by wine. There's that wine again, his doctrines, his philosophies, that forked tongue, man. All right, we coming over here with peacekeeping troops to liberate your country, man. That's the worst thing you can hear on the news about your country, man. We about to liberate this here country, man. We're about to send freedom and democracy over there. If you hear them words coming out of an American politician mouth, they finna invade your shit, man. Overthrow your government and steal your resources, man. But they're not gonna come out there and say nothing like that, man. All right, hey, the Most High it's like medicine, man. All right, you eat medicine and good food. You eat bitter food, bitter herbs and things like that. It's not so good to the taste bud. All right, medicine is bitter. It's not so good to the taste bud, but guess what? It's more healthy for you, man. It's more direct for you, man. You talk to a person that's tell you straight up how they are. All right, they more better for you than somebody that's all smooth talking you and things like that, man. It's better than that so-called sweet candy, that sweet drinks and things like that that's really rotting your insides out, man. All right, so hey, the same way with the Most High and the damn devil, man. The Most High gonna tell you straight up, hey, look, you do X, Y, and Z, you gonna get put to death, man. You do this and that, I'm about to judge your ass for these things, man. What does the devil tell you, man? Oh, do whatever's pleasing to your spirit, man. Do whatever's pleasing to your flesh. Do whatever you want to go and do. So even on a larger scale, you know, not a larger scale, but on a scale like, you know, with these regular people, hey, man, we want to go over there and send peace to your country. We want to go do, every time they said that thing, man, they just go over there and destabilize these countries, man, left and right, man. And that's all that they've been wound up doing the whole time and everything else like that, man. But they don't come out and say, hey, man, we about to go over there and just bomb these people and take all their resources, man. They ain't never said no shit like that, man. All right, but nevertheless, they say, hey, man, we're going to go over here and send peace to these places, man. All right, look at the last 20 years in the Middle East, man. What did they go over there and do? Did they say, hey, man, you know, most Americans probably would have respected the gangster George Bush if he said, you know what, we don't like them damn Afghan or Iraqis. We're going to go over there and blow them up and take their gas. Most Americans probably would have respected their ass, but what did they wind up saying? Hey, man, he got weapons of mass destruction. He got some other shit going on over there. And then now all of a sudden they go over there, fight for 20 years, send your sons and your daughters over there, spend up all this taxpayers' dollars to fund this military and things like that, man. All right, and then what do they get at the end of it all, man? All right, Halliburton and KBR, you know, Dick Cheney and them companies, they benefit, but you didn't benefit, man. Your sons come back all crippled, man. Your taxes, dollars go all up, man. You don't benefit, man. This is that transgressing by that wine, man. All right, that BS today's out there spewing, man. All right. Habakkuk 2:5 says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is his death cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, man. And that's what he's doing, man, going into all these different lands and locations and things like that to do what? To overthrow their governments, to stabilize them, take their resources, man. All right, what the hell you think America's over there doing in the Ukraine, man, in the West over there in the Ukraine? Why you think they arming them people, man? You think they arming them people because they just want to go over there and help them people out and feed them people over there, man? You got people here in America that's starving, man. You got unemployment skyrocketing right now in America. You can't even get all these people jobs, man. They firing people if they don't want to bow down to the mandate. But yet and still, you think that they're going to go all the way on the other side of the globe to go try to help some other people over there and so-called bring them freedom, man? All right, you got the police over here shooting unarmed people here in America, man. How come they not giving you American citizens guns to stand your grounds out of these things, man? All right, that's some straight BS, man. You ask them to go into some of these things, man. They can't, you know, with a straight face tell you about these things, man. All right, now they over here talking about how dare Vladimir Putin threaten folks with weapons of mass destruction and things like that. I heard on the news today, telling me, so what kind of country in 2022 invades another sovereign nation with their tanks and shit like that? Who does that? What kind of megalomaniac would do that? Oh, look in the mirror. Look at what America's doing right now, man. All right, they got all their military and their tanks in everybody else's countries right now, man. Invading all these other countries, man. Once they step foot over there, they never leave, man. All right, so this is why you have these American military bases everywhere else, man. All right, so hey, you know, this is that wine that they're transgressing by, that BS doctrine that they're out here spreading, man. And if you would listen to them, it would sound a certain type of way. But ultimately, you know, these things are set up to so-called propagate their so-called, how do I put it, their so-called narrative to make themselves look like the saints, man. All right, but ultimately, they're the devil that the Bible speak about, man. All right, but let's continue on. Verse 6, it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. All right, so hey man, ultimately, with their American budget, their American or their military budget, man. All right, these things are destabilizing America over here, man. That ultimate, unlimited spending that they're doing to send guns over into another country and things like that. So what benefit are they getting, man? All right. Then you also have what? The blowback of these things. Oil prices are skyrocketed and things like that, man. Who's going to be paying the price of that? They're not going to give you a stipend at the gas pump for you to get cheaper gas because of their so-called dealings in these other countries and things like that, man. All right, they're not going to give you any type of so-called stipend like, you know what, it's our bad that we started this here conflict. We don't want the American people to so-called feel the brunt of this. So, hey, man, we're going to give y'all some paychecks, man. Notice they stopped y'all stimulus packages and things like that in this here point in time. So, hey, look, man, America ain't got no, how do I say, good intentions for their own people. How much more these people on the other side of the globe, man? All right, people are going to start wind up asking, man, how long you going to keep doing this, man? How long you going to keep destabilizing these countries, man? This is what Russia's saying, man. How long you going to keep encroaching around our borders, man? How long you going to keep encircling us around these things, man? All right, until what? The bear lashes out and strikes back at him. All right. Going back to verse 6, it says, Habakkuk 2:6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booty unto them? All right, and continuing on, it says, verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, the city, and of the city, and all that dwell therein. All right, it says, woe to him that coveteth a evil covetousness unto his to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. All right, so hey, look, ultimately, this is what they're doing, man. They're stacking up these things for what? Their own demise, man. And they keep pushing, but ultimately the blowback is gonna land on them, man. All right, fulfilling prophecy of what? The whore hating the beast, man. Let's talk about that with this Nord Stream 2 pipeline, man. All right, Russia over here acknowledged basically the Donbass region, those two different separatist places over there is basically sovereigns. All right, and then what did America pressure Germany and them to do? Not sign off on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, the certification for those things, man. All right, which Russia just spent billions of dollars to build. All right, so they didn't spend billions of dollars to build these things, and now they ain't gonna get no benefits off of those things. So now Russia can't benefit from that money they just spent. Germany and Europe not gonna be able to benefit from the natural gas that they're running out of over there. All right, so what do you think Germany and them gonna wind up doing when they wake up to these things, man? You know what? Hey, man, America got us fucked up over here, man. We've been following them and everything else and all their endeavors. We don't get no benefits from these things, man. We might need to cut them off because guess what, man? We can get natural gas and benefit from Russia, man. They're not a threat to us. They're not really threatening us with nothing, man. They're not trying to invade us, man. Russia's really not going on a so-called war path against nobody else. They just on their own borders trying to defend their borders, man. All right, but look, if you look at how far Russian troops are from their borders versus how far American troops are from their borders, you'll see what's really going on, man. But people don't want to ask these questions. People don't want to look at these maps. It's that easy to see all these things. But what? They've been drinking this Babylonian juice. They've been, like the scripture we reading, they transgressed by this here wine, man. These people are drunken with this madness, man. I heard on the news earlier today how you should talk to your kids about what's going on in the Ukraine to further indoctrinate these people. Oh, yeah, Vladimir Putin's just this fucking tyrant and whatever. Hey, we're not pro-Russian or nothing like that. They all Edomites to us anyway. We don't give a damn about none of them. But at the same time, man, this is how these damn devils is moving, man. All right, the same rhetoric they didn't push on our people, they push it on their own people right now, man. These curses are falling upon themselves, but this is going to ultimately bring them to what their own demise, into World War III, man. All right, this is what's going to, and if you even listen to Russia, man, or Vladimir Putin, what he's saying is like, look, man, y'all don't really want this smoke because it's going to be dire for you people out here, man. Just like he was telling these Ukrainians, hey, man, tell them to leave about y'all doorsteps. Tell them to get their nose up out of y'all business because your people, your economy is going to have to pay the price. They're not paying the price over there. You are, man. All right, matter of fact, let's go back to that Isaiah. Because, see, these Americans get to live so carelessly and deliciously over here, man. All right, they don't have to worry about these things, but, hey, lo and behold, these things are going to come up upon thee in an instant, in a twinkling of an eye, man. All right, it's going to take you like a thief in the night, all right, because you're not paying attention. You're not watching and wondering about these things that's going on, man. All right, it's just like you see somebody that's over here, that's got you out here doing certain things, man. You got a man and his woman together in a little relationship, but then the girl, She got her homegirl that's talking shit in her ear. She just is a single angry friend, talking shit to your old lady. Got you going out to the club every night, staying out all late at night. Now she got a happy home where a man take care of everything all good. But she don't realize her friend is over here jealous, single, upset. So she's keeping you out every night. So your man is now looking at you all weird. Hey, why you need to come home? Come home on time. Be respectful. Do this and that. Oh, girl, he just telling you this and that because he all this and that. Lo and behold, now he done fed up with these things. Now he's divorcing you, kicking you out the house, man. Now you out here single. You trying to figure out how did I get into this spot, man? Me and my significant other, her man was all fine and dandy together, but now she all homeless and single, and her girlfriend is all the way down the block, man. She's going somewhere else, man. She done moved in and sleeping with your man now, man. All right, she's taking your resources. How did all these things happen? Because you was drinking that Babylonian juice, man. You was deceived by the little rhetoric that she was spewing. You didn't even get to realize that she didn't have your benefit in doubt, man. She was just trying to encroach onto your territory, man. Steal your resources, man. And this is what America's doing, man, with this Babylonian juice that they're spreading, man. That's why the scriptures say, therefore the nations are mad, all right? Hey, going back, Isaiah 47, all right? It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate, all right? Because, hey, man, this place is about to get their rude awakening, man. All right, this here place is going, all these other nations, Middle East, Ukraine, all these other places around the whole damn globe, man. A lot of these places, they're in fear of, like war, bombs, air raids, and things like that, where you have it's a normal thing in some countries to hear these air raid sirens, to hear bombs and things going off in the background like that, man. All right, here in America, in certain places you hear gunshots going off, like you live off in the woods, the country, and things like that. You hear these Edomite hunters out there shooting. That's normal. You know what I'm saying? You live in certain hoods and projects in certain cities in America, like Chirac, you hear gunshots. That's kind of normal. And the only thing you really hear as close as explosions in America is on these holidays like 4th of July, New Year's, and things like that. But you don't hear air raid sounds, see military jets flying over, bombing places, military helicopters and things like that. In fact, they got laws where they can't even use that equipment over American soil, on American soil like that, man. You don't really see no fighter jets flying over American soil like that. Now, entering and leaving in bases and things like that, that's different. But just flying around, you don't see no American military like that, man. You see the Coast Guard and the National Guard and shit like that, man. But you don't see the American military like that. So these people are dwelling carelessly over here, man. They're not in the threat of constant war, constant terror, and things like that. Look at the people in the Middle East, people that's living over there in Palestine and things like that, man. All right, they over there constantly got air raids, air sirens, and militaries is constantly going over there up and down the damn streets, man. All right, America, man, the only so-called militant force that you see is the police, man. All right, the police, they only really of a deadly force in Jake neighborhoods, but the rest of them, man, they just riding up and down the block, man. I had a dude over there just trying to call the cops on me, but hey, the cops just roll on by and they handle their business. They ain't really stopping, man. They not no big threat like that, like in certain countries, man. You see the damn military troops rolling up and down the damn block, man. All right, putting curfews on the corner, like, hey, if y'all out at this point in time, man, you liable to get arrested and thrown into jail, man. But all these things are coming here to America, man. All right, all these things are coming to the soil of America because, look, man, you didn't live so deliciously, man. All right, let me grab that real quick and almost sound like he had a supercharger. That shit just raggedy. This is Revelation 18. I'm gonna start at verse. I gotta start at verse 5 because it's gonna go right into what we were just reading. But Revelation 18 and 5 or 4 says, "I heard another voice from heaven saying, 'Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, that you receive not of her plagues.'" All right, and twofold. First and foremost, we had to arise ye and depart, for this is not our rest, mentally and spiritually, man. But ultimately, physically, man, the Lord's gonna take His elect up out of this here place. All right. Verse 5, it says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquity." So, hey, man, the sins of this here place have reached all the way up to the heavens, man. All right, it's time for now the Most High to judge this place, man. It's like you got a credit card, man. You have a spending limit, man. You've reached that spending limit. Now they're going to freeze your accounts, man. Now they're going to start garnishing your wages, man. Now they're going to start requiring that which is owed, man. All right, and so America has lived so deliciously. Well, we're going to get to it, but lived so deliciously and wickedly and spread forth all this here wickedness on the four corners of the earth to the point to where it's reached the heavens, man. All right, every nation on the face of the earth is being squeezed to death right about now and put in, how do I say, times of peril, man. All these, go check the temperature of the other nations on the globe right about now, man. See how they're living, how you know, how happy they are in their countries right now, man. And when you go back and you really look at all these things, man, again, the nations have transgressed the wine of Babylon, you know, roughly paraphrasing. The nations are drinking of her wine, all right, therefore the nations are mad. All these different nations have been partaking and listening to their so-called rhetoric and being partakers with her one way or the other, man. But now look at their countries all destabilized and things like that, man. So-called liberating the women over in the Middle East and things like that because they was, quote-unquote, so oppressed. Now you have these women out there committing suicide, man. Now you having abortion rates going up. Now you have women, babies being born out of wedlock over there, just like here in America, man. All right, these women over here are so-called liberated and so-called free, but how come they're all unhappy? All right, but nevertheless, we're not going to go into that topic. But nevertheless, hey, point is I'm trying to make, you know, they've been, all these nations have been suppressed by the so-called philosophies and doctrines of America, man. All right. Verse 5 again, Revelation 18:5, it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Verse 6, reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which she had filled to her double. All right, so hey, man, all the things that she's wound up doing to these other nations, all right, it's going to be done into this here place, man. All the other nations you invaded and bombed and left people childless. All the nations you separated the children from their parents. All right, you've even done that here in America, man. These other nations are going to wind up doing that unto you, man. All right, you think that these nations are going to wind up, oh, we can grab that. We're going to come back to that. All right, let me grab this real quick. Boom. Let me just start here real quick. Isaiah chapter 13. I'm gonna start. It's a lot in here I wanted to kind of grab, but Lord's will, we'll come back and we'll read a little bit more of this here chapter, but I just want to bring out this here point. Isaiah 13 and I'll start at verse 14. It says, and it shall be as a chased roe, as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone to his own land. And you're starting to see a lot of these things now where a lot of these countries are leaving, companies of these other countries are leaving America, going back to do business in their own land. A lot of people are fleeing America because why? Hey, things are you know, there's a certain point in time, you know, where you hear about, you know, they have this thing that's saying, hey, the Mexicans are coming over the border, we got to build that wall. Like, bro, look, Mexicans are coming over the border, but they're not, or they're crossing the border. They're not coming over here no more for so-called work. You know, before they was coming over here for work where they could send money back to Mexico and live a better life in Mexico than they were here because the money here was better than there. But now they crossing the border to get back into Mexico, man, because it's a lot more profitable for them to live over there than it is over here, man. All right, you got all this economic downturn that's going on over here. All right, a lot of these people are leaving over here, man. All right, you have these different mandates and things like that that's going forth. A lot of these companies are leaving here in America, man. A lot of people don't even want to work. They had what's called the Great Resignation of America, man. Most of these people are leaving over here. So what? A lot of these other countries are also leaving America. Continuing on, verse 15, Isaiah 13 and 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Hey, be not partakers of her sins, man. All right, get up out of this bad boy, man. You want to follow this here rhetoric, keep drinking this here Babylonian juice, be like these Babylonians and everything else like that. Because look, man, you'll have a lot of these, let me bring out this precept real quick. You have a lot of these people that's so-called sympathetic to America. Hey, man, let us go and join the military with them. Let us go out and fight wars with them because, you know, it's America, the few, the proud, the Marines or whatever they be saying, man. This is our country. We got to defend it. No, man, you don't know what the hell you getting into, man. This is that propaganda, man. They putting you out there as that sacrifice, man. All right, there's a saying, I forgot who it was. One of these top elites said that the, I forgot, it was one of these international bankers. They said that the people that go to war, they're pretty much fighting wars for these international bankers, man. All right, so these are like, how do you say, some of the so-called dumbest people because they're what? Guinea pigs, man. All right, you know, you go to war. That's one of the most, the scripture even talk about that, but that's one of the most corrupt things that I've seen in my own life, man. You know what I'm saying? You have people that are going to fight for this here country to, you know, put their life on the line for this here country, but then now all of a sudden you working side by side with me at some old bullshit ass job, man. How the hell you working side by side with me and we both eating crumbs and you went and fought for this country, put your life on the line for this country? I ain't put my life on the line for this country. You shouldn't be paying no goddamn bills over here, man. You couldn't be here. You know how they say, oh, we fought for your freedoms and everything else like that, man? Hey, man, ultimately, the Most High gave us these freedoms. But nevertheless, the idea of what these people would be saying, oh, I'll put my life on the line for this country. Well, what have your country done for you, man? All right, not what did you do for your country. What have your country done for you? All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that ain't your fight, man. You can say, what did that country do unto you, man? All right, they done stripped you of everything else, man, and made you go plunder the planet for their to line their pockets. But we're not gonna get into that topic. That's a whole nother day. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you want to go and be partakers with this damn nation and be not Babylonianized, but brainwashed by their rhetoric and things like that. You be dumb as hell. Go send yourself over into the Middle East. I remember, matter of fact, just a quick little testimony going into the situation that happened in September of 2001. All right, I was in high school at that point in time, and once I graduated from high school, a lot of my classmates and things like that went off into the damn war. All right, they went over to the Middle East and started fighting over there, man. All right, and I was trying to go over there like, shit, you know what, I'm gonna go too. You know what I'm saying? Let me go get signed up. I ain't got shit else better to do. I'm out here just whatever, man. I can go over here, get some little money, being a little Babylonianized, man. All right, and everything else like that, man. Hey, but the Lord had it to where, hey, they wasn't gonna accept me in that bad boy anyway. But nevertheless, so hey, I didn't wind up getting to go. But then now time goes by and I realized, like, you know what? I'm glad I didn't go over here and fight this damn war for this bullshit, man. Now I'm waking up like, man, they never even had all the bullshit they was over here lying to us about, man. All right, and I had some friends that I went to school with came back. They would even tell you, man. Jakes and Edomites, man. They both upset. Some of them got back pains. Like, yeah, man, I done went over there and was screwing up my back fighting for these people, and I ain't got nothing to benefit from it with, man. Or I went over there and saw certain things that was going on. Now I got PTSD. I'm traumatized for life from the things that I saw over there, man. All right, and what does the government do to these people, man? Some of them came back. Like I said, some of them came back, was working at the little bullshit jobs that I was working at and everything else like that, the same restaurant I'm working at. Like, how the fuck? But you ain't had to go to the military to work at this restaurant because you could have just graduated high school. Or some of them come back, can't even get jobs because they so tormented in the mind, man. All right, so what the hell you gonna benefit going over here fighting for these people? But nevertheless, while we supposed to arise ye and depart, not be partakers of their sins, departing away from this here place, man, coming back to the law, statutes, commandments, not trying to so-called coexist or coagulate with this here place, man. All right, it's because you're gonna be a part of the great sacrifice, man. So let me read this in 2nd Ezra 16, in verse 30. We'll just get to the point. 33. All right. 2nd Ezra 16 and 33. It says, "The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands, and their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. It says, in their war shall the bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine." So, hey, man, you don't want to get caught up into this here place, man. That's why you got to arise ye and depart. All right, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. You want to go out there with them and be with this whole rhetoric with them. Hey, man, you gonna be laid waste right there with their ass, man. All right, hey, the Lord's not gonna. Yeah, you want to be partakers with them? All right, fine, fuck it. It's just like in America, man. Hey, your homie's about to go hit a lick, right? You riding in the car with them. Now you don't get out to go hit the lick with your homies, but guess what? You get pulled over with them after they didn't hit a lick. Y'all all going to jail, man. All right, it's the same scenario, man. All right, but let's go back to Isaiah. Wait, no, let's go back to Revelation. Let's finish this first and go back to Isaiah after that. Revelation 18. Let me go back to verse 5. It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double." Oh, Salakia, because I was reading over here in Isaiah, actually 13. All right, let me go back to that. Isaiah 13 and verse 15. It says, "And everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword." So, hey, man, you want to be joined unto them, neck and neck with them, joined into their militaries and things like that, man. All right, you're going to feel that blowback, man. All right, it don't end well for you Americans, man. All right, we just read pretty much all you American soldiers that get deployed out to war, you're not coming back, bro. All right, we just read about how these women ain't going to have no helpers. They ain't going to have no husbandmen. They ain't going to have no sons, man. Because, wow, they're going to all die over there in that war, man. That's going to be the last great war, man. World War III is what you're going to know it as. All right, but nevertheless, continuing on, verse 16. Verse 15, and everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. All right, you know, hey, that should be a stark warning to these women that's out here talking about they don't need no man. All right, and so, hey, you better get your hedge, man. And ultimately, you need, let me go up a couple verses. Verse 12, Isaiah 13 and 12, it says, I will make a man more precious than the fine gold, even a man of the golden wedge of Ophir. All right, you know, a man gonna be more precious than the best of the best gold, man. More valuable, man. And not just any man, what? A man of the Lord. Because why? Scripture say, let me grab that real quick since I'm right here beside it. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of thy of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So look, a man gonna be more precious than a fine golden wedge of Ophir, meaning a man of the Lord. Because why? He gonna have that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in his mind to keep him stable, to guide him in those times, man. It's World War III popping off. We gotta go launch up to go to war to fight for our country. No, man, this ain't our country, man. This is where our oppressors fall, man. We just stand back and wait, man. Wait for the Lord to deliver us, man. We ain't got no dog in this fight, man. And well, we do, but we don't. All right, you know, we can read about that as well too. You know, Psalms 2, and I believe Psalms 46 about the players in World War III. All right, you know, cause hey, we gonna go in. You know, it's a quick little spoiler alert. All right, we gonna go into World War III without a so-called dog in a fight. All right, we ain't got no weapons. We don't got no military, man. But guess what? The nation of Israel, all right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans gonna come out supreme victory. All right, supreme victors of World War III, man. All right, by way of the Lord. The Lord's gonna come back and defend us, man. The Lord is gonna wipe out these nations for us, man. All right, so hey, we're not even counted as a nation in these things. So hey, we really don't have a dog in the fight, man. We just sitting here waiting on the Lord to come and deliver us, man. So hey, man, we not trying to sign up and send our kids or ourselves over to this war to battle these things out. But this is where Esau falls at, man. All right, the Lord's gonna take Esau and divide his kingdom with his own self, man. All right. Let me grab that real quick. This is This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 25 and 26. It says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. All right. So, hey, and going into that, let me read it again. It says, and every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. So, hey, man, you know, these Edomites are divided against themselves right now, man. Russians and the Americans, they both Edomites, man. All right, that's why we tell you, hey, we're not pro-Russian. We just know what the scripts say, man. We know how this is going to go out. The Lord is about to use, you know, the curses, Deuteronomy 30 and 7, man. The curses are falling upon our enemies, man. So, hey, you know, like how right now Esau ain't really got to come down swiftly on Jake, because Jake is doing a massive number on their own self, man. You got so-called black-on-black crime and things like that, man. But, hey, the Lord is turning up this Edomite-on-Edomite crime, man. All right, you got World War I, World War II, all right, and World War III was all pretty much Edomites on Edomites, man. All right, going to get them to destroy their own selves, man. All right, let me read the next verse. Verse 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? All right, so, hey, you know, Esau is known as Satan in scriptures. All right, you know, and also they have this saying amongst Israel, you know, Satan and the great Satan, you know, talking about basically these Edomites as well, you know, America and them. All right, but then ultimately, you know, Russia has a weapon, the Cermat intercontinental ballistic missile. All right, they got two versions of it, Satan 1 and Satan 2. All right, they're going to wind up launching that bad boy on their other Edomite counterparts. Like I said, the Russians are also Edomites as well, too, man. We don't give a damn about them either. They just as bad as these Americans, man. But we just know that the Lord is going to use them as a tool to basically wipe America off the face of the earth, man. Then the Lord's going to come back. Hey, that's what they say, divide and conquer, man. All right, the Lord going to come back and clean up the rest of that mess, man, in between. All right, but let's go back to this Isaiah 13. Verse 16 again. Let me go to 15. And everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Hey, so we was just reading about how reward her double. All right, let me just go ahead and go back to that real quick. Revelation 18:6, it says, reward her even as she's rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. So going back, Isaiah 13:16, it says, their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, their house shall be spoiled and their wives ravished, man. All right, and this is what causes so-called PTSD, man. Go ask these American military soldiers what war was like. What was war really like, man? All right, going over there bombing innocent people, what they call collateral damage. All right, they was over there rape, robbing, and murdering these people, pillaging these villages and things like that, man. All right, you in a damn military full of basically a bunch of men in a foreign country for so long. You got all this pent-up stress. What do you think they're gonna do to these women populace? They over here killing these men. What do you think they're doing to the women, man? They over here just raping and pillaging these women, man. You know, they got, I can't think of the name of the documentary. They got a couple documentaries from that Middle East shit that was going on where these Edomites was coming back. They was mad as hell about the things, and they was telling them the things that they wound up doing, man. Some of them even had to go to court for the war crimes that was committed and things like that, about the things, the raping that they've been doing. All right, how they was charging so-called rape these women and blowing their heads off and stuff like that, man. These things are coming back onto you Americans, man. All right, once these people start coming over here, man, they're going to remember what you've done unto their people and their nations, man. Are they going to remember? You have people that's been growing up over the last 20 years in the Middle East that's been remembering, and you've been bombing the hell out of them and their family, man. They ain't got no family no more because you done blew their ass the fuck up, man. They're going to remember these things, man. And when these people come over here, man, hey, that's the narrative that they like to push. They like to say, oh, they hate us because they hate America because of our freedoms. They got freedoms too, man. America ain't the only place in the world with free, quote-unquote, freedoms. And how free are you really here in America, man? Again, this is that Babylonian juice they spread out here in this here narrative, man. All right, you can't really do, hey, you say certain things about certain groups out here. All right, they cancel your ass. They shut you down about a lot of different things, man. You don't want to participate in some of their little experiments. What do? They cut off your livelihood, man. So, I mean, what are you really complaining about over here, man? All right, but nevertheless, you know, all these things, like I said, what they say, the chickens are coming home to roost or whatever that saying is. Basically, you reap what you sow, man. All right, you know, all those things you wind up doing is going to come back on your ass now, man. All right, so now look, they're going to come over here rape, robbing, and murdering and pillaging your spot. All right, you know, first, you know, how I say, you know, you're going to have a lot of riots and things like that popping off in the streets for the lack of bread and everything else like that. But ultimately, with these missiles, man, you done blown up half the damn near the whole Middle East. All right, you done blew Europe, World War I and World War II up. You blew Europe to hell and back, man. All right, so what do you think these nations going to wind up doing in the end-all, be-all, man? All right, now look what you're doing over to Russia, man, from the USSR to what you got now. All right, what do you think these nations going to wind up doing? Let's go ahead and read it. Going back, Isaiah 13 and 17, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. You know, because that's one of the things America likes to do is just pay off these people, put up puppets and everything else like that, man. But, hey, man, ultimately, let me grab this real quick. Proverbs 21 and 1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So, hey, going back into Isaiah 13 and 17, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, all right, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, he shall not delight in it. So, hey, man, you know, hey, the Lord has raised him up for a certain purpose, man, for a certain reason, all right? Now, let me grab this real quick as well, too, all right? Jeremiah 51 and verse 11, it says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. You know, hey, the Lord is working on the minds of these kings, raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. Well, let me read. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. So, hey, man, the Lord is working on the minds of these kings to fulfill his will, to fulfill his you know, how do I say, to play out this here movie the way he wanted, to be his tool, all right, a certain tool in the toolbox, man. All right, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? All right, through what? The Lord using his tools on the earth, man. His so-called puppets, man, to bring in their will. You see, Esau's using his puppets to bring certain things to play. Hey, the Most High is working with his puppets, man. And he done raised up, what, Vladimir Putin. All right, bought Russia about this economic collapse. All right, is a world power collapse. All right, now he's bringing them back to a so-called superpower state. All right, now he's also bringing them up to speed with their weaponry. All right, gathering the shields and the bucklers. All right, gathering those devices. All right, to do what? To destroy Babylon off the face of the earth. And that's what you're seeing them out there doing right now, man. All right, give me 1 second. And again, all the Most High's will is being fulfilled, but piece by piece, little by little, man. All right, so now let's go back. Isaiah 13 and 17, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Because again, you're not going to be able to pay them off, because this is the will and the agenda of the Most High, man. All right, it's not just Vladimir Putin, and you know, it may seem like we so-called speak highly of this man, but to hell with him, man. We don't give a damn about him either, man. The Most High can put him to death and raise up another person to keep fulfilling his will, man. But we know, according to the scriptures, the whole game plan. This is what we're telling you about, man. All right. Verse 18, it says, their bow shall dash the young men to pieces. They shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. All right. So, let me read the next verse. It says, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, all right, which is America, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. Well, we can read the next verse. It says, and it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their foes there. You know, going into what? Making the land desolate, man. Destroying it off the face of the earth, man. All right, so, hey, you know, again, we not so-called pro-Russian, pro-this or pro-that. We know we pro-scriptures, man. Pro-Yahweh, Yahweh, man. All right, going into what the words say, man. So we know that what the device of the Medes, which are the Russians, all right, is going to be built up against America, man. And further going into, let me grab this as well, too, because, you know, tying this into, we're going to get back to that Revelation, but, and that Isaiah. But tying that into how things are popping off right now, this is Habakkuk 2 and 3. Well, let me start at the top. All right, because, hey, this is the importance of listening to the men of the Lord, man, the watchmen, man. All right, because, hey, we're out here warning you of the impending danger. Habakkuk 2 and 1, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. All right, so, hey, this ain't our words. These are the words of the Lord. We're watching and we're hearkening unto the words of the Lord, and we're out here speaking unto the children of Israel. All right, according to Ezekiel chapter 3. All right. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it, man. All right, and that's what we've been doing, man. We've been publishing these video epistles and things like that, man. Going out on the highways and the byways and the chief concord places of the earth, man. All right, in the city. All right, letting you know, we making it known unto you, man. We giving you the breakdown, man. You can watch it, rewind it, forward it, save it, download it, study it, man. This is what we've been out here tasked to do, man. Because look, the Lord has given us the Holy Spirit to go into these things, man. To warn his people about these things, man. Hey, telling you to repent, all right, for not only is the kingdom of heaven at hand, but this destruction is at hand, man. You don't want to be caught out here lacking, man. So what? This is that warning that you was given, man. All right. Verse 3, it says, Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, this is the point I wanted to get at. You know, because, hey, you know, some people are out here thinking, seeing the war that's going on and with Russia, and maybe hearing about, you know, certain things that we've been preaching about and seeing certain signs that we have. All right. And then now all of a sudden they think, hey, look, you know, y'all was talking about World War III and Russia and going to destroy America. Is this it? World War III popping off? All right. This go in Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right. So let's go back. Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, for the vision, all right, the prophecies, all right, is yet for an appointed time. All right, it's for a set time, all right, for a certain time frame, man. It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, all right? And so, hey, just like, you know, a lot of these other things, you know, people can ask, hey, are we in Jacob's trouble right now? You know, is it speaking, all right? Can you just freely walk up and down a damn block without being so-called harassed, put to death, or anything else like that, man? Are you fighting for the last loaf of bread right now, man? All right, are you so-called scared to see another person at this point in time because you don't know if they're friend or foe? No, We're not in that time frame. So look, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. You're going to know at that point in time, man. Have they implemented the MOTB? Have they mandated that right now? Look, can you buy and sell right now without having it? No. Well, you can buy and sell without having it right now. So no, that prophecy hadn't come to pass yet, man. So ultimately, you know, at the end it's going to speak, man. When you know that you can't go inside the store and go get you a glass of water, what they call it, jug of milk, all right, a loaf of bread without having MOTB, then you know, that's when the prophecy is speaking about these things. But look, going into what, World War III, all right, we have other prophecies that have to take place before these things can how do I say, grow into their fullness, more or less to say, man. All right, you know, it's just like, you know, you want some oranges, right? Now, you take an orange and you plant a seed in the ground. Man, you see a little sproutling come up, all right? And you start looking at it, oh, shit, am I about to get oranges? Nah, that's a little sproutling, man. That's the first phase. You know, first, you know, start off as a seed. You got to plant that seed and nourish that seed. Then you see the next phase is what that sprout, man. A little sproutling come up, then it start growing into a little stock. Now you got the stock starting to grow into a little bit more of a tree. All right, then from the tree, it's going to start growing into, you know, a full-fledged tree. But there's no fruit on it yet, man. All right, then the fruits start coming, all right? But then the fruits are, like, you know, oranges, you know, they green at first, man. Then they start turning, what, yellow and then, like, that darker yellow color. Then once they start falling off the tree, okay, now they about ripe, man. Now they about ready to go, man. But right now, you're starting to just see certain signs and stages being fulfilled, man. All right, it's not, you know, Matthew 24 and 6 say, but the end is not yet, roughly paraphrasing. All these things, let me grab it in Mark, because this is a little better right there. Mark, slide here. Holding a little too much at the point in time. This is Mark. I don't want to drop this. Give me 1 second. This is Mark chapter 12 and Mark chapter 13 and verse 8 or 7. It says, "And when you should hear of wars and rumors of wars, be not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end is not yet." So these things must take place to so-called build up this here, you know, the ultimate end game goal, man. All right, you have to have certain things take place before the end can come, man. You know, hey, speaking of the end game, with that Thanos movie, the Avengers, man. All right, before he could snap his finger, he had to go get all those damn Infinity Stones, man. So this is like the appointed time of close comparison, man. All right, gathering the stones first. All right, raising up the elect. All right, oh shit, I shouldn't drop the page. I'm gonna read this real quick because, you know, all these things must be. They all must come to pass. In fact, I'll grab it here first. This is right here, Matthew 24, verse 14. It says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." So, hey, man, you know, this here gospel is going to be preached to all the world, and then the end is going to wind up coming. All right, so, hey, you know, this is the point in time where we're at right now, where what, the elect's being raised up, the elect's being sealed. All right, the elect is being fed with these things, man. Having that mark put on their foreheads. All right, so what, that wisdom, knowledge, and stability going to be, or wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of their times. All right, but nevertheless, let's go back to what we're reading in, we finished that in Isaiah 13, so let's go back to this Revelation 18 and verse, starting back at 6. All right, it says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double." All right, so, hey, all these things that she's wound up doing on the face of the earth, man, these things are going to come back to so-called bite her in her own ass, man. All right. Yeah, these things are pretty much going to come back to so-called strike her down, man, and bite her in her own ass, man. All right, plundering these other nations. All right, destabilizing other countries and things like that, man. All right, creating bad deals with your allies, cutting Germany off from the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, man. This is going to wind up causing them to so-called hate you, all right, and turn their backs on you. All right, those we can grab that as well too in Obadiah. You know, those that be at peace. This is Obadiah 1 verse 7. All right, Obadiah 1 and 7, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there's no understanding in him. So, hey, ultimately, you know, your own allies are going to wind up coming up against you, man. Your own allies are going to wind up casting you out because, look, they've been drinking of this Babylonian juice. They're not benefiting from any of these things. And then ultimately, you know, they're going to wind up waking up from, you know, this drunken stupor. All right, you get somebody drunk and then you take advantage of them, but then now as they start sobering up, they're like, what the hell did you do to me, man? You didn't let us out here high and dry, and it's only it's a detriment to our country. It's not a benefit into our country. So now we got to do what's profitable unto us, all right? Even if we have to cut our own ties, man. And you can see that what happened with Turkey, all right? Turkey is a NATO ally, all right? But then you had certain scenarios going on over there where they was like, you know what? We need to buy these S-400s and things like that, man. They're looking for their own benefit. And you have the same thing that's going on with Germany with their oil pipeline, man. All right, they want to make sure that they can be able to get energy and things like that instead of running out. So wait, you think America's over there sending them natural gas and things like that? All right, well, I mean, they are, but they're charging them a higher price, all right, for a lower quality, man. And as you can see, they're running out already, man. All right. Let's get back to Revelation 18 and 7. It says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen and no widow, and shall see no sorrows, man. All right, so it says how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, man. All right, and this is how, you know, they again, we was just speaking on America and their allies go and plunder these other nations. Who benefits from those things, man? America and NATO went through a whole Middle East, blew up all the oil fields over there, took all those the oil fields, but who was benefiting from that, man? It wasn't Germany, it wasn't France, it wasn't the EU or the EU or the UK or none of those people. It was America that benefited from those things, man. Mainly, not even Americans, but what? Dick Cheney, all right, and Halliburton and KBR, their little private companies and things like that. Those are the ones that got to benefit from those scenarios, not the average Americans, man. All right, they didn't go over there and steal all the damn oil in Iraq. And then now what? We got free fucking gas over here for life for all American citizens. No, that didn't happen, man. In the middle of all that shit that was going on over there, the gas prices still was going up, man. All right, but nevertheless, you know, this is just how this here place is, man. Always got their nose in somebody else's business that ain't, you know, that's not even your own backyard, but you more worried about that shit that's going on over there than taking care of your own household, man. How the hell can you tell me how to rule my house and your house not even in order, man? You over here trying to so-called bring humanitarian aid to these folks when you need humanitarian aid right here in America, man. Go ask most Americans how they living right now, man. All right, but nevertheless, I digress. Going back, Revelation 18 and 7, it says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. Woo! You know, and that's again, going back to what I was speaking on earlier, man. You Americans ain't let me see. Oh, it's in Isaiah. Let me read this and then we'll go back. Isaiah, Revelation 18 and 7, it says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. All right, so hey, man, they're not gonna spare, they're not gonna pity. All right, you know, when, man, this shit's sad, man. You go over to the in war with America, man. See, one of the things they like to do is what they got them witchcraft, man. They never tell you what things are really going on, man. They'll say, you know what? We had a couple casualties over there. What they call it? Collateral damage. All right, shelling. But they don't use the terms that's really going on. Oh, they over here bombing the hell out of these people, man. They killing civilians. They don't tell you those things, man. They always dehumanize the people, man. They show you these things, but nevertheless, they never so-called bring it into a so-called reality checkpoint, man, so that you Americans can understand what's really going on over there. You know, if they came on the news, yeah, we was in Afghanistan today, Iraq today. We blew up like a couple to kill one terrorist. We blew up this apartment building and killed like 37 children, 5 old men, and 4 old ladies, man. They just had, you know, it's just all part of the game, man. They don't tell you no shit like that, man. So you think that these other countries are gonna have any remorse or any pity for you when they come over here? That's why we was reading a little earlier. They're not gonna regard the kings or the princes or silver or the gold. All right, they're not gonna spare. They're not gonna have no pity. They're not gonna show mercy, man. They're not gonna just be hitting military installments like right now in the Ukraine. That's what they really over there hitting, is those ammo depots and things like that. All right, and certain things that's going on over there with that infrastructure like that tends to that, man. All right, they're not just bombing schools and hospitals, but hey, man, when Babylon get touched, man, all right, every from east to west, shore to shore, all right, this place is gonna get turned into the lake of fire, man. It's gonna get hit with thermonuclear missiles, man. It's not gonna discriminate between, oh, this is a military zone and this is a subdivision that is just homes out here. Ain't nobody no military over here. No, man, all this place is gonna get touched, man. All right, hey, they're not gonna have no pity. It says, going back, Revelation 18:7, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. All right, say, hey, that's the mindset of these Americans. Hey, man, we ain't gonna never see war. Well, they feel like they're never gonna lose a war. They feel like they're never gonna get invaded, man. Going back to that virgin daughter of Babylon, man, they feel like they're never gonna be touched, man. But what does the scripture say? Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord who judgeth her. All right, so hey, man, you know, going into these things, man, this is gonna be the so-called demise of America, man. It's gonna come in one day and in 1 hour, man. The full total destruction of this here place. All right, so now let's go back to Isaiah 13. All right, because going into how she was living deliciously, or Isaiah 47, Salakia. Going back, Isaiah 47, going back to verse 5, it says, sit thou silent and get into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt be no more called the Lady of Kingdoms. All right, hey, so there's no throne. You're not going to be that chief place no more, man. You're not going to be the head of the earth no more, man. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. All right, and this is the seat where thou livest, where Satan's seat is. You know, this is that throne spot where all this wickedness is going out from right now, man. This is so-called headquarters. Well, hell, New York City, the capital of the world, man. The United Nations building is there. The United Nations headquarters is there. All right, that's the capital of the world. Where's New York? All right, the Empire State. Where's New York at in America, man? All right, the capital of the whole goddamn earth, right? But look, this is not gonna be the throne no more, man. This is not gonna be that chief place no more, man. It's gonna be turned back over into the land of Israel, man. All right, the Lord is gonna come back and take Esau out of power, man, and set up his son Yahushua on the throne. All right, and starting with him on down, man, the nation of Israel is gonna reign. All right, but going back, Isaiah 47:5, sit thou silent and get in the darkness, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt be no more called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people, and I have polluted my inheritance, and given them into thine hand, and thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient have thou very heavily laid a yoke. All right, hey, so going into these things, man, you know, ultimately Esau gonna get judged for what? Touching the apple of the Most High's eyes, man. All right, forwarding their affliction and things like that. Talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, so hey, ultimately, you know, the Lord's gonna come back and avenge his elect, man. All right, on these people. But then you also have these other nations that's gonna pretty much band together and fire off on America, man, because of all the things that they wind up doing unto her, unto those nations, man. Continuing on, verse 7. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou did not lay these things to thy heart, neither did thou remember the latter end of it, man. All right, so hey, man, you over here spending on the credit card, you know what I'm saying, and not thinking about, hey, I gotta pay a bill, man. I gotta pay my tab eventually at some point in time, man. You know, but nah, you just maxing it out, not ever going to work, not ever putting no money onto it, man. Now they finna come and repossess your car, your house, kick you out of this and kick you out of that, man. You didn't even think about the latter end of these things, man. You just kept spending it up, man. You went to the casino and you done gambled out the rent money. Hell, you gambled away the mortgage to your house, man. Now you're gonna try to go back. You didn't think about the end game of it, man. All right, like Esau, he done sold his blessing, but now look at him now, man. All right. Verse 8. Therefore hear now this, thou that are given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. So, hey, man, that dwellest carelessly, man. This is that place, man, again, where these people are just walking around, living their everyday lives, all right, watching the soap operas and watching the sport games and just doing it up, man, living it up in Babylon the Great, while people are being so-called bombed right now, shelled, or however they want to name it. People are getting invaded at this point in time, all right, and this is going on all over the whole globe, man. People being starved out and everything else like that. But hey, man, you Americans are just walking around. You know, you got some plagues hitting you right now, but your plagues ain't nowhere near on the scale of the rest of these people on the globe, man. All right, you know, you so-called starving because you can't go eat at your little Roof Chris and things like that, but you can go get you some ramen noodles. All right, you can go eat you some McDonald's right about now, man. You got other people in other countries eating out the damn sewage and trash right about now, man. All right, yeah, you getting shot down by some of these police out here. You know, of course, you know, Jake out here being wicked, but that ain't nothing. But you got people that's over here constantly under air raid sirens, man. Bombs falling out the damn sky day in and day out, man. You got some countries where their number one thing is not getting up, going to work in the morning, sending their kids to school, get a good education. They just trying to dodge bombs day in and day out, man. They just trying to live, man. So-called just, you know, we say we just trying to live out here. That's a different type to it. These people really trying to just to fucking live, man. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, hey, America is that city that dwells carelessly, man. They don't even got to worry about these things, man. The last 20 years, you know, I made a statement about this a little earlier. On the news, they talking about how to talk to your children about how to deal with this war, about the Ukraine scenario, you know, how to talk to your kids about the Ukraine scenario and everything, brainwashing them, you know, getting them ready for World War III. I'm like, wait a minute, man. America been at war for the last 21 years or something like that? All right, you know, they've been at war the whole time, but I'm saying in the Middle East, an active hot war. They've been at war for like the last 20-something years, man. You had a whole generation of people that was born and grown up since that point in time, man. All right, you know, the people that was born in the year 2000, they now 22 years old, man. All right, but nevertheless, y'all wasn't prepping them and telling them how to live up under those type of scenarios and everything else like that, man. All right, y'all wasn't trying to so-called brainwash them about these types of things and how to live like this. Hey, you got people that didn't even know that they was at war their whole life, man. All right, you know, speaking to some of my relatives, my niece and some of my other little relatives, it's kind of younger, and they talking about, oh, we going to war with Ukraine. Like, yo, we've been at war your whole life, and you didn't even know about these things, man. All right, not to say that America is you know, so-called really going into war over there with the Ukraine scenario, you know, and that's their little posturing that they do. Again, going back to their so-called rhetoric that they have going on. All right, talking about, you know, we're going to defend every inch of NATO. Like, but that ain't NATO. Y'all just giving them guns. Y'all over here getting them to so-called, it's a proxy war. You know, if you can understand how a proxy is, you using one group to fight another little war for you, man. So it's not your troops that's fighting this here war, man. You don't have the blowback coming back on you, man. All right, you got somebody else doing your little so-called biddings for you, man. But nevertheless, man, this is how America gets down, man, and their wickedness, man. But let's continue on in Isaiah 47. We go back to verse 8. It says, therefore, hear now this, that thou art given the pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that say in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come upon thee in a moment, and one day, the loss of children and widowhood, and they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. So, hey, you know, hey, well, let me read the next verse. It says, we could read a little bit more of this. Let me just go start at 10. We'll read down. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and thou hast said, none sees me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. So going into what their wisdom and their knowledge well, let me keep reading. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. So it's going to catch you like a thief in the night, all right? But let's go into their so-called wisdom, knowledge, and their understanding, and their what is going into their witchcraft, man, all right? It says, stand down thy enchantment with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, thou shalt be able to profit. If so, thou mayest prevail. All right? Because, again, with their rhetoric and their media and their TVs and things like that, trying to get the people on their side, again, the narrative is Russia's invading Ukraine. Nobody's going back to how America invaded Ukraine to destabilize their region to cause all these things to happen. All right? You know, just like, again, in Libya, Syria, and Iraq, right? Everybody talk about ISIS and, well, fuck, we can even talk about the Taliban, all right, and Al-Qaeda. You know what I'm saying? Well, the Taliban is a government, but Al-Qaeda, man, all right, talking about them niggas. Who the fuck started Al-Qaeda, man? Where did that come from, man? That was a proxy war that America had with Russia, man, the Mujahideen, man. These niggas was set up by America. They the ones created them. Now let's fast forward in the time, all right, ISIS. Who created them? Where did they come up from, man? All right, well, Hillary Clinton got caught giving guns into, running guns through Tripoli into Libya, all right, and then they was running them through into Syria, all right, and then you had it going into Iraq, man. They wasn't even over there until they started going over there and start destabilizing the whole damn Middle East, man. They didn't even have goddamn terrorists over there, but who wound up going over there arming them people, man? To go over there and overthrow those people to take those resources, man. All right, so hey, you can go look back to the dates before that, man. You never heard of those little groups, so-called rebels or terrorist groups before America set foot over there, man. So who created the terrorists over there? Who destabilized the Middle East? Who brought all that terror over there? Was it them fucking Muslims over there that did all that shit? No, it was these Americans that did that shit, man. All right, what's that? There's an Iron Man movie, right? And you got the dude on there called the Mandarin. And he was like a little actor. They break the whole shit down onto you right there, man. He's like, no, I'm an actor, man. Because they got him on TV, got a little terrorist speech and shit. But then all of a sudden he get caught up by Iron Man. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm an actor. I'm a British actor. I ain't even Arab or none of that shit, man. I'm just an actor. This is a costume. This shit is fake. This is a production set. Like, yeah, that's exactly what it is, man. They even had that on the news, man. You can even look at this shit, man. All right, the so-called fake ISIS beheading. Like, nigga, this is in the Fox News. I don't know if I ain't gonna say Fox News, but one of these major news network studios, man, where they was faking all this shit, man. Putting that propaganda on the TV to get these Americans to sit here and be hating these folks, man. Just so that they can go over there and destabilize that region and steal all the resources, man. This is what they be doing, man. Now they over there doing the same shit again, man. The same game plan. They running the same play, man. But hey, ultimately, again, this is that Babylonian juice that's got these nations mad or got these nations drunk. But they gonna wake up from this shit, man. With a bad hangover, man. Like, bro, I ain't never drinking again. I'm just about to throw all this here mess up, man. But that's what you have about to take place, man. All these nations are gonna wake up from this here madness, and then they're gonna all be like, you know what? We all got a common enemy. We all got a common problem, and it's over there in the West, man. We gotta band together to get rid of that problem. Then we can work out our differences over here, man. All right, and that's what they ultimately gonna do according to the scripture, man. All you that been at the bow, stand round about and shoot at her. All right. All these different nations are gonna want to banding together and taking America out, man. All right, because of their wickedness, man. Let me continue reading. Isaiah 47 and 13, it says, "Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels." All right, their think tanks and things like that. Where if we do this, we can do that. If we can get this, we can get that. Which puppet is a better puppet to put up into position of power? You think he gonna listen, or you think this one's gonna be, you know? Because that's how the puppet they put up beforehand, not Lushenko, what's his name? Was it Poroshenko or something like that? One of them, the first dude that they put over there, once they took out it might have been Lushenko. Anyway, when they got out the Russian guy, they put their own guy up over there. But nevertheless, they got caught on the microphone talking about, we think that this guy will be a little bit better. We'll line his pockets. We'll do this and we'll do that. You know, we'll send like $1 million every single day over there, like to make sure he win. The same shit that they did over in, tried to do over there in Venezuela with Nicolas Maduro, man. All right, to overthrow their government, set up their puppet, steal the oil reserves that they got over there in Venezuela, man. All right, for what? An unlimited oil supply for when they go to wage war, man. All right, so they can keep restocking from over here and go over there. So, because the war gonna be in the Middle East, all right, World War III, and then that's where a lot of the oil is at. So, I mean, how you gonna be trying to refuel your shit and they just bombing all that, man? They can stop that in an instant. Just go and take out those supply tanks, man. All right, but nevertheless, you know, going back into these things, man. All right, these so-called think tanks. There's you know, there's so-called witchcraft and things like that they got going on. These simulations and these different people that they put up, more or less to say, how can we prosper, man? How can we get a little bit further with these things, man? All right, ultimately, it's gonna bring on their own demise. Verse 13 again, "Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee." All right, so hey, that bullshit you've been dependent on your think tanks and everything else like that, on how to destabilize folks. All right, and your propaganda machines. Let that shit help you out if it may be able to help you, man. All right, you know, hey, look at this here truth, man. They've been having all this propaganda and all this media come out to try to hide this truth for so long, but hey, the Spirit of the Lord is way much more stronger than that, man. The elect was able to hear this here word and wake up from this slumber, man. All right, they was able to throw out that madness that they've been fed their whole life and came back into this here truth. So how much more, like we read earlier about how the skirt gonna be lifted up. All right, once these other nations see the true nature of this here beast, man, all right, they're gonna wind up, you know, firing off on her, man. All right. Let me grab a precept off this. Let me read this again. Isaiah 47 and 13. It says, "Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels." All right. So, hey, man, this is what they put their mindsets into. But nevertheless, it's gonna come back to ultimately bite them in the ass, man. Job 18. I'm gonna start at verse 5. Job 18 and 5. It says, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, the spark of his fire shall not shine." All right, so hey, you know, he's, you know, a light in a dark spot. You able to guide yourself and see, you know, into these things. But look, he ain't gonna be guided no more, man. That light gonna be put out, man. He gonna be like trying to find a damn needle in a haystack in the dark in a big ass warehouse, man. All right, he ain't gonna be able to know which way to go. It says, the light shall be dark in his tabernacle. His candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened. His own counsel shall cast him down. So, hey, man. Oh, let me keep reading. Verse 7, "The steps of his strength shall be straightened, his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare." So, hey, his own counsel is going to cast him down, man. Hey, yeah, blowing up this smoke up the Ukrainians' ass and everything else like that. Now I got Russia over here on the attack. But they think that, you know, that they're going to ultimately prevail. But look, these things are going to ultimately bring you to your demise, man. All right, you know, a lot of these different things that he's wound up doing is coming back to bite him in the ass. Let's talk about creation of the internet. Saving certain pictures and documents and relics from the past. All right, all these different things. But hey, look at the time of the war that we're in right now, man. All right, all this mistreatment, ill will treatment of these nations when you was in their nations, plundering them, man. Rape, robbing, and murdering, man. All right, all the devastation you cause in these other lands, man. All right, so hey, man, because of the violence of the land, man, you gonna be cut off forever, man. You wound up doing all these things to these other nations. Now they're gonna come up into your face. It's gonna blow up in your face. Now you're gonna have to sit there and how do I say, wallow in it, man. All right, but hey, this is your own. Hey, man, go over there and just fuck it all up. Just blow it all up. Show them the most devastation. Don't show them no mercy. Hey, man, make sure that they know not to fuck with us no more, man. All right, just go over there and just run amok. Now, all right, so when it come back, reward her double as she rewards you. When that happens unto you, what do you think is gonna happen over here, man? All right. It says, the steps of his Job 18 and 7. The steps of his strength shall be straightened. His own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet. He walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. All right, and who's going to be ultimately that robber, man? All right, it's going to be going into these Russians, man. All right, with their weapons of the Lord and his weapons of his indignation. All right, they're going to come and spoil this here land, man. Make it desolate, man. All right, you over there trying to, with your so-called councils, your backdoor deals and everything else like that, trying to run up into the Ukraine. All right, hey, let's just take a step back and look at all these different things, man. All right, you know, you had the collapse of the USSR, right? And then what happened after that, man? You know, they was down and out for a while, but ultimately, you know, the Lord was working on the minds of the kings to raise them back up, you know, but to raise them back up. But nevertheless, as these things are being transpired on the earth, what have you been doing since then, man? Moving your militaries surrounding Russia. What is that forcing Russia to do, man? Russia wasn't thinking about a lot of these things. You know, again, spiritually, we know that the Lord is working on the minds of these kings and moving them into position. But in a more or less carnal sense, Russia wasn't thinking about that type of shit, man. Russia was just trying to put food on their own table, man. All right, but what did you wind up doing, man? Moving your NATO bases more and more closer around Russia. So what did that make Russia do? Hey, man, we got to start investing into our military, man. We got to start building up our stockpile, man. We got to start advancing our weaponry, man. All right, America got their weaponry on fleek like this. Now we got to make our shit even more better on fleek than theirs. So what did they want to do? Developing hypersonic missiles, developing upgraded missile defense systems and things like that. Since you want to surround us with your missiles and shit, we got to make a missile defense system and put it all the way around our damn borders to be able to combat all the shit that you got going on. So even if you want to launch all your shit, man, we can hit all that shit, knock it all out the air, because we prepared for this, because we already see y'all out there surrounding us, man. This is the scenario you're creating for your own self, man. We see what you're doing, so this is for every action there's a reaction, man. We see that this is what you're doing. All right, so look, now I gotta go over here and get this and that, man. All right, it's just like a you and your neighbor, right? Y'all was cool at first, nothing really popping off, but now your neighbor constantly going into your yard, into your shed, stealing your shit, stealing your lawnmower, stealing your gas, parking in your yard, doing all kinds of this and that. So now all of a sudden, damn, man, where my gas went at? Now I gotta buy some cameras and put some cameras up around my house. Oh, now I see this motherfucker creeping in my shed and grabbing up my gas. Now he breaking into my house. Now he trying to do this, and that. Now I gotta go get me some guns. Now I gotta protect my family in case he wanna try to rob me in the middle of the night. Well, see, when y'all was neighbors before, he ain't had no guns beforehand. He wasn't even worried about you, man. He was just worried about him and his kids in the house, playing soccer in the backyard and everything else like that, cutting his grass. But what happened? You started stealing his gas. So for every action, there's a reaction. Now I gotta put these cameras up. Now you start stealing his food and breaking into his house and plotting and endangering his kids. So what's he gotta do? Now I gotta get some guns to protect my family. So now when you walk up into his house, breaking in the middle of the night, and you in his daughter's bedroom, and he shot your ass, well, it wasn't like he was on the offensive and wanted to go and kill your ass, but you brought your happy ass into his daughter's bedroom, and now he fired off on your ass, man. You brought that upon yourself. And that's what you have going on right now, man. These are these snares and these traps that America's being brought into, all right, with their damn think tanks. And how we gonna try to destabilize them now? How we gonna start doing these things now, man? All right, because, hey, we read, let me bring that back one more time. Because these are the things that's gonna wind up blowing up into your face, man, because of your own doings. Habakkuk 2 and let me just read from verse 6 on down. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booty unto thee? All right, so, hey, they gonna wind up waking up and be like, yo, man, we gotta go get this guy up out of here, man. We gotta uproot this guy before he devour all of our shit, man. Verse 8, this is the reason why. I just gave the analogy to dude who was breaking into the neighbor's house. Now the neighbor then went on defensive mode. All right, Habakkuk 2 and 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people. So let me slow down. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All right, so what type of response do you think Russia should be having right now when they seen you destabilize all these other countries? When they seen you came over there with the peacekeeping philosophies? When they seen you come up over there with that liberation? When they seen you moving in on other people's territories and seeing how you never left and how you stole their resources overthrew their governments? You already did it to them one time before at the fall of the USSR. So what type of stance should Russia be taking when they see you mounting up on their borders, man? All right, going back, it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land of the city and all that dwell therein. All right, so, hey, because you spoiled all these people and all the blood of the city, man, you gonna wind up being spoiled, man. All right, you're gonna be repaid double for all the things that did happen unto you. It says, woe to him that covet the evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. It says, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, thou hast sinned against thy soul. All right, so, hey, let me jump down. Verse 12, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city with by iniquity. So, hey, man, you know, if you spill blood on the land, your blood has to be spilt on that land to cleanse it, man. But not just that, man, you done gathered onto you all these different nations up under you. How did you get these nations, man? All right, let me grab that real quick, because, see, this is a so-called violent, bloody takeover that Esau be rolling with. This is Genesis 27 and verse 39. Let me read 39 and 40. It says, and Isaac his father answered, this is Esau's blessing. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. So, hey, look, he was going to have a temporary rulership over the earth, right? The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live. All right, that's the point we wanted to grab. So Esau was going to live by the sword, right? And he was going to have the fatness of the earth for a time being, right? And let's jump over and grab Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So, hey, you know, you go into this here, the rider that was on the red horse, all right, there was given unto him a great sword to do what with it? To take peace from the earth. And this is what he wound up been doing, man. Everywhere he taking his military, man, all right, and death and hell follow after him, man. All right, this is what he wound up doing, uprooting and overthrowing, man. All right, coup d'etats, man. They have a term for that, man, where they go in there and they overthrow your government, set up their own puppet leaders, man. All right, but it's a violent overthrow. It's a violent takeover, man. It's not a peaceful one. All right, hey, kingdoms have never been translated by so-called peace. Like, well, there has been some where they just rolled in from the military, you know, but they ain't necessarily have to lay nobody waste. But nevertheless, it was at the threat of laying people waste. But nevertheless, you don't just walk up to a kingdom and be like, yo, can we have your kingdom, please? And, all right, yeah, you can have my kingdom. I'm gonna give it to you. No, it don't happen like that, man. Nations roll up on other nations with war, and they overthrow them nations, and then they take the nations for spoil. Let's go back to Job 18, and let me go back up, verse 7. It says, the steps of his strength shall be straightened, his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The gent shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. All right, because, hey, they're going to come in and explore this here land. He's going to be for booty unto these other nations because he explored all these other nations, man. He's taking peace from the earth by way of the sword with a violent takeover. So it's the same thing. Reward her double as she reward unto you. So the same way you didn't taking all the resources and all these other nations captive, the same thing is going to be taking place unto you. It says, verse 9, the gent shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. It says his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. So that's going to bring him to his own demise, man. All right, when he see he can't take another step forward or anything else like that, when he realizes he's completely through, all right? And when he sees, oh, let me grab that. We can come back to this as well, too, and read down, but I want to grab this real quick. Oh, man. Let me grab this first. Like I said, Lord's will, we'll come back to a lot of this and just read a little bit further through. But just hitting on a couple points. Jeremiah 51 and verse 28. It says, prepare against her the nations with the king of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, all the land of his dominion. You know, going into Russia, all right? It says, the land shall tremble for sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord. This is the key point. This is the purpose of the Lord. It says, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants. So, hey, this is what's going to be done in the land of Babylon, man, to make it desolate, all right, without inhabitants, man. All right, and the Lord is going to use what? The Russians to bring forth the weapons of his indignation, to bring forth this destruction, man. All right. Let me jump down to verse. Maybe I just passed it. Just give me a second. Might be a chapter 50. Give me 1 second. Let me go back to 50, 48, 40, 43. All right, Jeremiah 50 and 43, Salakia. It says, let me go up. Let me start at verse 40. Jeremiah 50 and 40, it says, as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. And going into, you know, the ultimate destruction of this here place, man, like Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Nobody dwells over there even to the same day. Verse 41. Behold, a people shall come from the north, a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. All right. And they shall hold the bow and the lance, and they are cruel. They will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. So again, that nation coming up from the north, all right, it's talking about what? Russia, man. All right, with a conglomeration of nations, all right, and everything else like that, to do what? To perform the will of the Lord, which is to do what? To destroy Babylon off the face of the earth. Continuing on, verse 43, the king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs of a woman in travail. All right, so ultimately, you know, it's going to come a point in time, you know, they already starting with this here thing now, man. All right, they was over there with all the big tough talk and everything like that just a second ago. All right, with the whole Ukraine scenario. Hey, you know, if you know they want to do this, we can do that. You know, we'll go over there, we'll aid. You know, we're gonna defend every inch of NATO territory and all these different things. But then when you know, Russia start firing off like that, what did Biden say? Look, man, we not gonna go over there, send no troops over there. Hey, this is on a whole nother scale, man. This is a whole nother level we talking about. This is a capable nuclear power that we talking about, man. We can't go get into other people's business now. It's the first time you'd heard America say some shit like that. We're not gonna go get into other people's business right now. All right, we'll send some aid over there. We'll send you know, humanitarian aid. We'll send food and we'll send guns, but we're not gonna go send no troops over there because look, man, you know, that's, you know, Article 5. You know, America send a troop over there. They get shot. Now all NATO got to go over there. Russia, you know, preemptive strike, man. They're gonna go straight to nuclear, man. So now they want to try to back off a little bit because ultimately, you know, the vision is yet for an appointed time. This is not the time just yet, man. You're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. All these things must need be. All right? These things have to build up and everything else like that, man. We have other prophecies that need to take place. In fact, let me jump on that real quick. This is in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38. All right? This is one of the prophecies that you see and take place right now, man. All right? Ezekiel 38 and verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. All right, ultimately, you know, again, we not so-called Russian, what do they call them? Not separatists, when people that feel bad for people or whatever, sympathizers. We don't give a damn about them people, man. They are enemies as well too, man. All right, we don't give a damn, but the Lord gonna use them as the so-called whooping stick on America, man. And this is all we telling you according to the scriptures, man. All right. It says, verse 3. It says, and say, Thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I'm against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will, just the point, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company, with bucklers and shields, all them handling swords. All right, and you know, being put into being turned back. All right, turned back to what? That old Soviet state. All right, being brought back into that superpower state, man. All right, I believe it was around the year 2000, the early 2000s. Vladimir Putin got into office. All right, well before that, you know, the early 90s, you know, you had to follow the USSR. All right, and destabilizing Russia and things like that, man. Those different countries got split up and everything else like that, man. All right, but then now all of a sudden you have, you know, 2000, the early 2000s come around, Vladimir Putin come into office, man. All right, then from there, you know, you pretty much had, you know, the rebuilding of Russia, man, economically. All right, as far as trade on a global scale. All right, their weapons and their, how you call it, their military-industrial complex and things like that. All right, because during the Cold War and everything else like that, they were still at World War II type level of weaponry, defense and offense. All right, they didn't have nothing so-called up to date, man. They was still, again, that you crippled the whole economy. They didn't have time to put money into their weaponry. But what did America do? America started upgrading their shit, man. All right, but Russia still had a lot of their old equipment, man. Look at some of their big heavy bombers that they got now. They still use the same old ass planes from World War II, man. All right, but nevertheless, right now you have Russia being well, it's further down. We'll get to it. But you have Russia now, so-called advancing their military equipment, man. Advancing, you know, their economic stronghold. All right, advancing their so-called foot in the ground as far as global economic trades. All right, you had the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2, where they're exporting natural gas into Europe. A lot of that money that they're getting back, you know, you got to pay for that gas, man, is coming back to Russia for Russia to do what? Upgrade their weapons and their systems, man. All right. So they didn't upgrade from the S-300 the S400, the S500, the S550. All right, working on the S900. All right, where they can sit here and shoot missiles and knock satellites out of outer space, man. All right, they can hit your missiles while they're still in their silos, man. All right, they can hit your so-called stealth fighter jets, man. All right, they can knock out your hypersonic missiles if you was able to even develop hypersonic missiles, man. See, America ain't even got no hypersonic missile that they can test and have a successful test with, man. Russia already got them shits in the, not to say production, in operations, meaning they on the battlefield already, man. All right, you know, America don't have an up-to-date missile defense system, man. They can't take a bombardment of Russian missiles. But look, again, going back to his own council casting him down, his own footwork is being blown back up in his face, man. Because why? He didn't surrounded Russia with all their missiles and everything else like that. What did that put Russia them into a point of having to do? Look, they got us completely surrounded. We need a missile defense system. Whereas we can sit here and defend ourselves from a multiple barrage of missiles coming in from all over the place. So now they got to have a more, how you say, a more efficient, up-to-date, more functional missile defense system. Whereas America's like, well, we don't really need missile defense systems here in America because, for one, they would have to shoot their shit from way over on the other side of the globe over to America because you ain't got nobody with missiles. You see what they did with, again, Cuba, when they had them missiles right there. They was like, nah, hell nah. So you don't got no other foreign non-American ally with missiles and shit like that, like in Mexico or Canada or nothing like that. This is a whole other hemisphere of the globe, man. All right, so all their adversaries are on the eastern hemisphere of the globe, man. They would have to shoot it over the oceans or over the North or the South Pole or up in the outer space and then come back down. By that time, they got enough time to try to hit that bad boy, man. So they don't really have to upgrade their so-called missile defense systems and things like that, even though they should, because they Patriot system, THAAD system, them shits is pretty shitty, man. They have less than a 50% hit rate, man. All right, but nevertheless, their moves by surrounding Russia has forced them to make their shit more up to date, man. All right, more functional and everything else like that. So what? When America and them try to bombard them with their missiles, hey, they're gonna be able to stop all those missiles, man. They're gonna be able to shoot them all down, man. All right, America fought with their stealth fighter jets and having air superiority. All right, what do you think Russia was thinking of first and foremost? All right, look, we gotta have some kind of what they call ground to air type of missile to be able to shoot or see and shoot these stealth fighter jets because, hey, America has air superiority. We got to sit there and try to cancel out their air superiority. And what you see happen over there in Syria, man. All right, America was bombing the hell out of Syria until what? They dropped that S-300. I believe it was the S-300 they dropped off over there. No more, a no-fly zone happened overnight, man. America was like, you know what, time to pack up and go home, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, this is what you're seeing going on over there, man. All right, but nevertheless, you know, all these things are ultimately bringing, you know, for every move that America's making, all right, it's making Russia make two more moves in you know, a better direction. All right, everything, you know, every time they getting closer and closer, all right, now we're gonna have to do this, man. All right, you want to go put arms in the Ukraine and get up onto these former NATO countries. Now we have to go over there and invade. Now we have to go and take them back. Beforehand, America, or not America, Russia wasn't thinking about these countries like that. Yeah, they was like, you know, those are our old countries and things like that. But nevertheless, you know, now the spirit is, Vladimir Putin is talking about he want the former Soviet Union back. All right, now they want these former Soviet states to come back. Why do they want them to come back? Because that's that buffer zone that they will have against the so-called East up against Russia, man. That's why it's important. It's strategically important for them to have these things, not to have American and NATO troops right there in their borders like that, to sit there and just wage a war from right there, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, hell no. We need to go ahead and go back to our old former Soviet state. Y'all all are pretty much Russian-speaking people anyway. Y'all all are basically Russians anyway. But nevertheless, you know, these moves that they're making are forcing Russia to make this other move. But again, this is all according to prophecy. So we see this here prophecy taking place. Let's read it again. Ezekiel 38:4, it says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all them handling swords. Let me go into something real quick. Let me see something. Hey, so when you go into the blue letter about turning back, it says to return. All right. Um, to go back from to turn back, to bring back, to restore, to refresh, to repair. All right. What are they restoring? That old Soviet Union again, man. All right. To refresh that old Soviet state that they had. To bring back, to refresh, to restore, to bring back, to reverse, all right, reversing back to that old Soviet state again, all right. It's like, give me a second. Oh man, I thought I had. Let me look this up. All right, so looking up into these old Soviet countries, right? You have obviously Russia. You know, these are the places that was a part of Russia. Kazakhstan, Ukraine. You know, you got this is going on in Ukraine right now. You just had this scenario in Kazakhstan, all right, where Russia stood up to go and aid them, all right. Ukraine, Armenia, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Azerbaijan, Georgia. I want to say that was around like 2008 or something like that. You know, the early 2000s where Russia rode up into Georgia, all right? Latvia, Belarus, Lithuania, Estonia, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Moldova, another Moldova, Soviet Socialist Republic, Russian Soviet Federal Socialists, Azkabanza, all right. But nevertheless, hey, these are some of these old quote-unquote Russian states, all right, that was a part of the USSR, that now you're starting to see Russia going back and taking, so-called taking them back, man. All right, going back to that old Soviet state, all right. And when you look at a map, I'll try to pull one up real quick. When you look at a map, this is where give me a second. All right, this might work out right here. This may be a little bit better. All right, let's see if we can pull this here up. So now when you look at, kind of hard on the backside. So you got like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. All right, but going back over here, you know, this is on the border of East Germany, Poland. All right, all these nations over here, it's that buffer zone, man. All right, you know, these are old USSR nations. Basically, you would have the so-called West invaded from this here side, and Russia's like, nah, we want y'all up off of our borders, all right, because this is what you're trying to do is encamp round about us, more or less to say. This is a little bit bigger map. Let me see. Can you see that? You know, you could always look this up on your own, but you know, just going into some of these things, you know, showing you these different nations that are basically where the conflict is over right about now, man. All right, and these different nations that you see going back and forth with Russia and America, man, over these contested places, man. Why are they being fought over? Why are they being brought up in the news? Why are they being contested over, man? Why is it so important that you know, one side or the West back Ukraine, and why is Russia so-called fighting over these things, man? All right, because again, they trying to put their weapons up on their borders, but what? We know according to the scriptures, the Lord is working on the minds of the kings, all right, to move them wherever he want to move them at, his chess pieces wherever he want to put them at, all right, to do what? To fulfill his will, all right? And then part of the scripture also goes into what? Putting the hooks into the jaws, all right, of these Russians. Let me read it again. Ezekiel 38 and verse 4 says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth all thy army, horses and horsemen, and all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all them handling swords. All right, so going into that, putting the hooks into the jaws, bringing them back to that old Soviet state, man. All right, because look, you look at those nations over there, look how quick Ukraine fell, man. All right, why does the West and America have to arm Ukraine with their weapons? How come Ukraine can't just stand up on their own, man? All right, they got to get aid from, the West instead of getting it from Russia, where Russia can defend them. That's their own people anyway, man. So what do you think is going to ultimately wind up happening, man? Well, forget what you think is going to happen. We know what's going to happen according to the scriptures, man. Russia's going to wind up going back into that old Soviet state, man. All right, but nevertheless, you think on a carnal sense, man, it's more beneficial for them just to go back because that's their people's anyway, man. America's not going in the West, they're not going to be sitting there trying to put them up on high or anything else like that. They're just using them as a puppet, a proxy, man. All right, to go to war because they know if they go to war with Russia right there on their borders, them people that's living in them countries is going to wind up feeling the effects of that, man. They're going to feel the blowback of that, man. The casualties are going to be up on their borders, man. The conflict will be fought right there, man. So what? Russia has to push America back right there, man. So it's like, look, man, y'all keep getting any closer. Y'all keep arming these people. Hey, man, you see what's going on over there today, man. All right, and that's the gist of it, man. Like I said, all you have to do is look up a map of NATO and EU bases around Russia or around the globe. All right, you can see them on the borderline of Russia. All right, and then also look up old Soviet Union countries. All right, and just pretty much merge those two maps on top of one another, man. They're contesting over their areas, man. And you can see what's going on, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, the Lord is raising them back up, bringing them back into that Soviet state, bringing them back into that superpower state, man. Bringing them back to that dominant state to where they was back in World War II, man. All right, and then look, ultimately they're gonna go forth to fulfill the will of the Lord, destroy America off the face of the earth. You see them developing these weapons. All right, let me continue on reading, because it'll get further into that. Let me read verse 4 again, because going into verse 4 is talking about a lot of those old Soviet states, but then you also have other allies, right? Oh, let me go into some of these. Let me look up something else as well too. Whoa. Well, let me just read this here first, real quick. This is what they call the CSTO, which is basically the Collective Security Treaty Organization, right? And the members are Russia, Kazakhstan, Armenia, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. All right, going into what? Some of these old Soviet states, man. All right, coming into a conglomeration with Russia. Let's go into let me see if I can find this. Give me a second to try to find something real quick. Pretty sure I can just read any of these, but I wanted to grab a specific article. I think this is it, right? Yep, this is actually it. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Shah. So, let me go and read into this. It says, who are Russia's main allies? It says, let me just get to the point. All right, that's the CSTO. We just read about that. But beyond them, all right, you have, it says who else? It says, strictly speaking, it says, a number of other states are sometimes referred to as Russian allies, even though there are no official agreements. Take Syria. Clearly, Russia helps Bashar al-Assad's government in a lot of military and political terms. Of course, Syria is our ally, said Peskov. But as far as I know, we don't have a document or comprehensive allies relationship. All right, they also have one with Iran as well too. All right, which we'll get that in the scripts. This one here also says another example is China. The Asian Economic Giant is a member of the BRICS and Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO) economic alliance, in which Russia also participates. Plus, the Russian military regularly conducts joint military drills with its Chinese colleagues, and they had a drill in 2008. But nevertheless, the point I wanted to grab was, going into the BRICS nations, because one of the things that they're trying to cut Russia off is from the SWIFT system, all right, which they can make international trade with, all right, and buying and selling of the oil and everything else like that. But hey, look, they've already got other organizations and allies that they can kind of circumvent those things, man. All right, and what's it going to wind up doing? It's just going to wind up only affecting America in the East or the so-called West, man. All right, but nevertheless, let's go back to the scriptures. Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 4 again, it says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. All right, hey, one of the other major things that they have going on right now is Russia that's, well, we'll get back to that because it's verse 10 I want to jump to. Or verse 7. Going in verse 5, it says, Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmet. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Tomargov, the north quarters, and all his bands and many people with thee. It says, be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So we're just going into what? Prepare thyself. All right, what do you see them doing, man? All right, upgrading their missile defense systems, upgrading their offensive weapons, doing joint military drills. All right, they're out here, how do I say, hey, right before this so-called invasion that they had, all right, they was conducting damn near the same day that they started going up in there, man. All right, they was just finishing up a nuclear drill, man. All right, right over there with, I believe, Belarus, man. All right, let me just to verify what it was. I believe it was the day right before that. But nevertheless, you've been seeing these joint military drills and things like that that's been taking place with Russia and these other nations, man. Boom. Russia and Belarus begin military drills near the Belarusian border February 10th, 2022. All right, so hey, man, they was just preparing themselves, preparing for these different invasions, wars, and rumors of wars and these things. Hey, man, right before these things, man, and one thing you have to understand about these different wars and things like that could take place, let me grab that as well, too, is that, it costs a lot of money to move all this equipment around the globe, man. All right, they're not just practicing these things for nothing, man. They're not just practicing and moving things around just for the hell of it, man. All right, these things are for a purpose. They all have a purpose to play out, man. All right, we'll grab this. But nevertheless, going back, Ezekiel 38 and verse 7. Be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee, and be a guard unto them. Going into being a guard unto these other nations, man. Like, what you see happen again, like I quoted earlier about Syria. All right, they wound up putting an S-300 over there in Syria. All right, S-300 over in Venezuela. All right, they sold S-400s to Turkey. All right, now they being guards unto these different nations to where, America can't so-called bully them no more, man. All right, America threatened to kick Turkey out of NATO, put sanctions on them and everything else like that, and small talk them all. But what did Russia, what they want to do with Russia? They signed that S-400 deal, took possession of the S-400 and things like that, and America had to pretty much just shut up about that scenario, man. All right, America was over there trying to hijack Venezuela. They put an S-300 over there. You don't really hear about that no more, man. All right, America was over there bombing the hell out of Syria. They put an S-300 over there. No-fly zone over there, man. All right, so, hey, man, now you have these nations, so-called, well, let's grab that real quick. These other nations now are standing up to America, man. Standing up to their flex. All right, this is Joel chapter 3. You know what, let me read from verse 2 real quick. Joel 3 and 2, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. All right, and this is one of the major things that I wanted to touch on as far as, hey, is World War III popped off over there? No. What we're looking at is these things, we read earlier, hey, you're going to hear of wars, hearing of wars, that's not necessarily a rumor of a war. That's an actual war that's going on, or a conflict that's going on over there right now, man. But what is that doing? But the end is not yet. That's fulfilling, bringing back that Soviet state, the hooks into the jaws of Russia, man. All right, but what? The World War III is going to be taking place in the Valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man, over in the Middle East, man. All right. It says, I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the Valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. All right, so ultimately, this is going to take place. All right, but for what? For touching the apple of the Most High's eyes. But let's jump down to this point that I want to grab. Verse 9, Joel 3 and 9 says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So, hey, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. All right, so all these different nations right now, it says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. All right, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So, hey, preparing for war, all right, preparing for the battle and things like that. What are they doing, man? You've seen a lot of nations that's not really investing into so-called agricultural things. All right, investing into so-called theme parks, investing into just bullshit in their country, leisure and things. What are they investing in, man? Missile defense systems, man. Offensive weapons, man. All right, aircraft carriers and things like that. Military equipment is what they're investing in, man. They're not investing into your everyday leisure and everything else like that, man. They're investing into what? Preparing themselves for the day of battle, man. All right, and one of the major places that they're getting these weapons, or the two major places they're getting it from, is what? Either America or Russia. But again, going back to that Soviet state where Russia's becoming that superpower again. All right, a lot of these nations are now getting weaponry, offensive and defensive, well, really defensive weapons from Russia right about now, man. All right, they're getting guns, but they're not really getting like nukes from these other nations. But hey, when it comes down to the rhetoric they like to push out, certain nations, Iran is about to get a nuclear missile or nuclear bomb. Hey, Iran ain't gonna develop no damn nuclear bomb. They're gonna just buy them from Russia, man. All right, them warheads from Russia, man. Cause that's Esau's blessing, man. All right, to be good with the sword and everything else like that. So hey, he's the one that's putting out these arms on the planet Earth and things like that, man. It's Esau with this here bullshit, man. So nevertheless, Russia's being a guardian to these nations. Russia's being the one that's providing these weaponry to these nations according to the scriptures, man. All right, and this is what you see in the visions yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. It's speaking loud and clear right now, man. You seeing all these things taking place, man. You don't see Africa developing thermonuclear weapons and selling these shits to everybody else around the globe and stockpiling them and all. No, man. You see these Russians doing that according to the scriptures. That's what is going to happen, man, and that's what is taking place. But let's jump back. Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. All right, and that's what they're doing, preparing for the battle, man. Doing these joint military exercise drills. All right, they're preparing with one another. All right, they're coming together, this nation with that nation. All right, they're doing these, military preparedness drills and things like that. They're also preparing the civilians. Russia, I believe, got, 40 million people into these underground bunkers and things like that, man. All right, so, hey, they're all preparing for war. But, look, this is the city that dwells carelessly. What are they out here doing, man? Preparing for their little sporting events, preparing to go out to the clubs and the restaurants and the bars, man. They're preparing for just wickedness, man. They're preparing ultimately to be sacrifices, that ultimate sacrifice. But that's why it's going to come upon them as a thief in the night, because they're not watching, man. They're living carelessly. They don't think that these things are going to come into their shores, man. All right, they think that this is just something that happens on the other side of the globe, but hey, they about to get caught like a thief in the night, man. All right. But continuing on, verse 9, Joel 3:9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I'm strong. Like I said, they're not developing roller coasters and all these different things like that, man. They developing military equipment, all right, military tools and things like that, man. They're not developing, you know, explosives to go mining inside the damn, cut out, you know, some shit inside of a mountain for them to store shit up in there. No, if they blowing up these mountains, it's for them to make these underground bunkers and things like that, man. If they using this dynamite and these explosions, it's for what? Military equipment, man. All right, they not making these little rockets, because basically, when you look into it, all right, basically the same, you know, when you see these missiles and shit like that, that's basically a delivery system. The warhead is pretty much you know, the painful part, the weapon part, the weaponry part. Where's that at? Let me see if I can find that real quick. Right here. This is Revelation 6 and let me start at verse 12. All right. Revelation 6 and 12. Oh, Salaki, give me a second. Yep. All right, I'm reading verse 15, 16. Revelation 6 and 12, it says, and I beheld, and when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, and the fig tree, matter of fact, oh, you know what? Well, we can read this too. This is not what I was looking for, though. Let me read this first. Yeah, Revelation chapter 9 and verse 18. It says, by these three were the third part of men killed by the fire. Hold on. Let me go up. Revelation 9 and 15. It says, and the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, a day, and a month, and a year for the slated third part of men. All right, and this is when the Lord, ultimately, you know, Babylon is about to fall, man. All right, this is when those thermonuclear missiles are about to take off, man. All right, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000 thousands, and I heard the number of them. All right, going into those 200 million nuclear warheads, man. All right, and again, the point I was trying to make, it's coming back to me now. The point I was trying to make was, when you're looking at those missiles, all right, those things are the delivery systems, man. All right, the rocket part, all right, but in the head, let me keep reading because this is right here. Verse 17, and I saw the vision, and I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the head of the horses were the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. All right, going into those, you know, those warheads, right? By these three were the third part of men killed by fire, by the smoke, and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouth. All right, going into their warheads. Let me keep reading, though. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. All right. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. All right. So going into that, let me go back into that verse 19. For their power is in their mouth. All right. So in the warhead. All right. This is describing, like we look at it as the missile, the head, the warhead. All right. In their mouth. All right. It says their power is in their mouth and their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents. All right. Now the tail is going into what? The stabilization part, the delivery system, man. All right. And you can also see, like when you launch they launch those missiles off, you see the smoke, that trail that leaves after, man. Like if you was to see a snake slithering across the sand, you'll see his little trail and everything else like that, man. All right. But it says and had heads, and with them they do hurt. All right. And that's going into what? Those warheads. Well, let me go back. Revelation 6:12, it says, and I beheld, and when he